So here's a question from the comment section again, from a subscriber named Hope Lives. And it says, I want to thank you for aiding me in identifying all the monsters in my life. Very similar experiences, and all that fell for it again. This time it was at my mother's deathbed, where the Catholic priest came to give us our last rites. Little did I know then that he was a master covert narcissist. Planting the seed of trust, I started to trust again. He became my confessor and spiritual director, and he later called himself my friend. I told him everything. He knew every single detail of my life. He waited patiently for 7 years until the golden child turned full-blown narcissist, threw me the crumbs of my mom's estate, imposing as the, quote, Good Samaritan. Or for his help and support, taking every single crumb I was given. Turns out his family is one of narcissists and parasites. He owes me thousands. Not only did he annihilate me from everyone, I'm broke. Wow, so, okay, I'll come back to that in a minute. Listening to you and no contact, I've been doing that. But is there really no justice? How do I start over? I'm tired and I'm 62. Still hope. Thank you for the question, and I'm sorry. So, is there really no justice? Yes, there is justice. A lot of people say there is no justice for the narcissist. Well, there really is. However, it's incredibly, incredibly difficult to achieve. I'll give you an example. For anyone that's been sexually abused as a child, there's something called statute of limitations. And the statute of limitations, for example, in New York, is 7 years, or until I think 7 years after your 18th birthday. And then you can no longer claim or file a complaint. No, it's not true. You can file a complaint, but the law will no longer take action against a child abuser after that statute of limitations. Unfortunately, it was up again for debate in New York, and the Catholic Church really blocked it. That being said, but there are other ways if you are kind of creative and have a creative legal mind working with you. For example, if there was sexual abuse in the house, or there was physical abuse in the house, and other people that knew about the abuse, even if it's 40 years later, are talking about it and getting their story straight so there's no trouble. So the narcissist is protected. So the will, the monies are protected. That is called conspiracy. And it can also be involved or touched with the RICO Act or the Racketeering Act. But if people around are talking about covering up, about you being robbed and covering up, that statute of limitations may not apply to the sexual abuse itself, but it does help you with conspiracy. So that's kind of a short way of explaining, is there justice? Yes, there can be justice, but more times than not, there isn't. And however, if you want that justice, you have to really, really fight hard for it. I mean, and you have to make that decision. Do you want that in your life? Do you want that revenge or justice in your life, tearing at you, reminding you all every day that that's going on or that happened to you? So you have to make that decision for yourself. It's a personal decision. It's a very difficult decision. I understand that. Now, I'm broke. You say I'm broke and that you were robbed. Well, I don't know what country you're from, but have you checked with an attorney? And is there any documenting paperwork? Is there an estate? Now, you can find that out quite easily by asking an estate attorney to look into it for you. And that should be relatively inexpensive. If you do know there was an estate, if you do know that this piece of garbage actually robbed from you, There'll be attorneys that will take you on consignment. That is, they will not, if they believe in your case, ask you for any money until the case is settled. And if they lose the case, well, they get nothing. If they win the case, they generally get 33% or 1/3. So, is there justice? Yes, you can make justice happen. It's hard. You got to get your ducks in order. This, again, is one of the reasons why I tell everyone, please document everything, every email, every voicemail, even in your own diary, your notes, dates, specific times where things happened. And how do you get over it? How do you start over? You start over 1 minute at a time. And I know that sucks, but guess what? That minute is just going to pass in a few more seconds. And that's how you do it. 1 minute at a time. And it turns into an hour, and that hour turns into a day. And I know it sounds like it's easy to say, but though that time accumulation really builds into a support system, really does. So can you get over it? I don't care what your age is. I'm 54. I'm 56 now. And yes, I can have a happy life. I can have a mentally happy life away from really toxic and ugly, narcissistic and criminal people. So it doesn't matter what age. The answer is yes. The alternative to that is the answer is no, and you're 62 and you're going to sit on the couch all day. And that's just not feasible, and that's just not in my vocabulary. I can't let that happen to me. And what I've turned out, or what I've come to see, is putting those little hours together, hours at a time, days at a time, that remembrance of the abuse is still there, but it fades. I hope that's helped. Thank you very much, and I'm wishing you peace today.